Alright guys, just a little bit of an update. Thought I'd come out here real quick before I gotta get ready to go to work. Check the gears and stuff. Yeah, this has been sitting open without anything for a while. I don't know how the camera's gonna focus on it. You can see the rust. There's water in here sometime, maybe. It's nothing that's unrepairable. You can, this I would just take the wire wheel to, clean it up. I'd probably take the chunk out, keep the bearings on the same side, clean the inside as much as I could, clean that as much as I could, and then the first time I'd run it, put some cheap gear oil in it, run it for about 100 miles, 50 miles or so, drain it. If it's still a little bit rusty, run it again, drain it, run it again, drain it. That would clean it out. But I got through to counting the gears, and if you can, I don't know if the camera will focus on it, YG, Yukon Gears, Dana 44R, Dana 44 Reverse, 513R. And I double checked. These are 513s, and you can tell somebody recently put these in. These don't have no miles on it at all. These were set and done. They were set and put away. If I was putting this in a mud truck, I'd be excited it was 513 gears. Not for a daily driver. So, I'm going to be swapping these. So, I'm going to be doing a rebuild on the inside too. Might as well put a locker in it while I'm at it. So, I'm going to either 411s. That's what I'm going with. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I might go 513s, or excuse me, 456s, maybe, but probably not. I'm probably just going to stay 410s. I got 373s right now, and it does pretty darn good on 373s. That little bit extra oomph to 411s will make it all the more better without sacrificing too much gas mileage. I mean, it's a lifted truck. It's going to be solid axle. It's a 350. It doesn't. 350s. You don't modify a truck and make it look good and think about gas mileage, or even a car. In some cases, if you enjoy something, you don't worry about the gas mileage. If you want gas mileage, you get a little daily driver or a little Honda or something. Yeah. So this has been gone through, rebuilt, and then set down, and then I'm guessing water got in through the vent right there. There's the vent right there. I'm guessing water got sat in, and just surface. All this is surface rust. I don't see any rust really on the bearings. So I mean, if these were 410 gears, all I would do, like I said, pull the chunk out, because you can pull the chunk out and put the chunk back in, and as long as you tighten these back to spec, and whoever rebuilt this tighten these to spec, you're good. You're golden. You don't mess up any of the backlash, or backlash, pinion depth. You don't mess up any of that, because that's the same thing I did on my Cherokee. When I pulled the front diff, I pulled the chunk out so I could and pulled the ring gear off, marked where the ring gear was, pulled the spider gears out and put a little lunchbox locker in it, put the ring gear back on, torqued everything spec, made sure I lined up my two marks I made, put these back in on the same side, facing the same way, bolted it down. Haven't had any problem out of it other than my rear pinion bearing right on the yoke. But that's just because the drive shaft being bad. It's starting to go bad. It needs a whole rebuild. I might be able to get back just replacing that bearing. But anyway, it's just a little quick video. A little update on the axle. And I was doing some searching last night. I probably am going to stick with 8 lug. I'm going to get rid of these brake brackets, most likely. Because this brake stuff is kind of hard to find. This is the big brake bracket that they use on Dana 60s for the dual piston calipers, which I wouldn't mind having, but I've been doing some reading. These are not held on my slide pins, they're held on my H blocks, and apparently some people have problems with it, but other people don't. Since this is so thin, right here anyway, bulk of it's pretty good. I found some brackets on eBay for 150 bucks, but I can spend about 300 something, and I can get new brackets, rotors, spindle, or not spindle. Alright, interruptions, but I can get a new bracket, comes with a caliper, rotors, and everything. Comes with a new caliper, comes with a little shim, and then it comes with GM, single piston caliper, and a GM rotor from 86 Chevy GM, down at 44, 8 lug, and so that'll make it have more readily available parts, because I've checked on the parts for this axle, and everything is special order. Well, not everything. You can get brake pads and stuff, but you want a brake caliper, special order. Rotors, one of them special order, one of them's not, depending on which axle it is. So I can pay a little money, because I'm going to need calipers anyway. Calipers are about $100. So I get that kit, I get a new bracket, plus 2 calipers, plus rotors. So that's a good deal. So I'm probably going to keep 8 lug, like, as long as I can find a, well, I say as long as I can find, well, whenever I get a 14 bolt. I know I can find one with 410, 411 gears. If it's a couple off, it's fine. 410 versus 411 is nothing. Heck, even 409 versus 411 is nothing. They're close enough together that it won't make a difference. But yeah, I'm going to be putting 411 gears in this and be getting a 14 bolt at some point. But yeah, it's still a ways away. Just came out here just to see what it was like. Anyway, talk to y'all later.